Hi everyone! Today, I'm going to show you a simple guide to drawing characters with balanced features. This will help if you struggle to draw faces from this kind of angle, want to learn the proportions of a tilted face, or are drawing a human face for the first time. With this guide, you'll be able to draw balanced characters easily. I've made a similar video before, but I think this one is even easier to follow, and I added some tips too, so I hope anyone can keep up. I'll be demonstrating in a digital environment, but you can absolutely apply this in traditional drawing as well. Hopefully, you'll get the hang of it and eventually be able to draw without this guide. Ready? Let's get started. First, draw a single gentle curved line like this. Then, draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up to 10 circles along this line. It doesn't have to be perfect. Next, draw lines at the second and 10th circles. And then start sketching a big circle. You can draw it freehand if you want. Try to keep it as round as possible, rather than oval-shaped. And now place it here where these lines intersect. This will become the head. If you want to draw a face looking the other way, flip it and draw the line in reverse. For this tutorial, we'll stick to this angle. Next, instead of the middle of the circle, draw a line here in the center of the line at the 5th circle. Now, estimate and divide the line into thirds. Around here, draw the ear. It doesn't need to be perfect. Once the ear is drawn, imagine the outline of the face using these 3 points. Sketch this roughly, it's just a placeholder for now. After that, draw the skull shape. At this point, we'll also draw the neck. But don't draw the neck straight, please. Tilt it back slightly at an angle for a more natural look. Like this. Not straight, but just a bit slanted, like this. A lot of people tend to draw necks completely straight, but the human neck naturally tilts backward, with the head leaning forward slightly. So drawing it at a slight angle makes it look more natural. Now, let's move on to drawing the features of the face. Draw the eyebrows on the 6th circle. The middle of the 6th circle marks the clavicle, so start the eyebrows from here. Okay. For the eyes, I always recommend starting by drawing them closed. Closed eyes make it easier to adjust the balance later, so especially recommend this for beginners. Draw the closed eyes between the 4th and 5th circles right here. Use the yellow guideline we used for the ear, the one divided into thirds, to mark where the eyes should go. Start drawing the eyes here, and for the other eye, start from where the circle begins here. Remember, the eyeballs are round, so instead of drawing straight lines, curve them slightly like this. And don't forget to draw the eyelids too. Okay, next is the mouth. The second circle is where the mouth will go. The mouth should fit entirely within the second circle. Include both the upper and lower lips inside it. If you're drawing a male character, you might want to make the lips thinner and longer. As for the nose, if you touch your arm, you'll notice the lowest point is just above the inner corner of the eyes. Keep that in mind when drawing it. The nose can be tricky to balance, but I'll share some tips for it later. Once the face is drawn, adjust the outline as needed. For example, I felt the ear is a bit too high, so I'm adjusting them now. Okay, that's the base complete. Before we move on to adding details to the face, let's check the balance of the features. Draw a box like this from the outer corners of the eyes to check if the ears are centered. Make sure the ears aren't too far left or right. They should sit roughly in the middle. Then, check if the eyes are parallel. I've posted a more detailed video on checking feature balance, so feel free to check that out too. Also, ensure the eyebrows are slightly forward compared to the eyes. The eyes should appear recessed compared to the eyebrows to give a sense of depth, so make sure the end of the eyebrows extend forward compared to the eyes. For the nose, draw a side profile like this, starting from between the eyebrows. This will help you check if the shape and position of the nose and mouth look natural. Okay, once you've checked the balance, let's move on to drawing the face. At this point, you can open the eyes. When I mentioned doing closed eyes earlier, it was because the eyelids are useful now. Simply follow the eyelids to draw the open eyes. I think I'll draw this character with a heart-open expression. For the eyes, feel free to draw them in your own style. If you want bigger eyes, by the way, start the guide for the eyes lower down when sketching the circles. That way, you can adjust the size to your preference. Now, the outline of the face can also be adjusted to match the character. Basically, I only change the shape of the eyebrows, nose, outline, and mouth when drawing male or female characters, while the proportions stay mostly the same. Adjusting the outline makes a huge differences in the impression of the character. For example, longer jaws, more angular faces, flapping cheeks, or differences in weight will affect the outline. But the basic proportions rarely differ much. By the way, I've also made a video on drawing faces by age, from kids to adult. Check that out if you're interested. Okay, alright. Now that we've completed the face base, let's move on to the hair. For the hair, I came up with a slightly improved method since my last video, so let me share that with you now. In the previous video, I mentioned creating radiating lines from the crown of the head for volume, but instead of stopping there, I now suggest first dividing the hair into the front and back sections before adding radiating lines. This is because starting at the crown can result in an overwhelming amount of bangs. Since bangs grows slightly in front of the crown, Draw the hairline and setbacks first and then add the radiating lines. If needed, you can also draw guidelines for the side here. By the way, honestly, I started drawing without deciding on a hairstyle this girl, so I got a bit lost. Make sure you plan your character's look before you start drawing, of course. One last thing, something important I forgot to do earlier, but if you're working digitally, don't forget to flip the canvas to check the balance. I remembered just now and flipped it a little bit, and as expected, there were some areas that needed adjusting. Alright, so today's tutorial focused on drawing the face from this specific angle. It's a guide for beginners or anyone struggling with drawing the balanced face. Once you get used to it, you won't need to rely on a guide anymore. Alright, if you found this video helpful, let me know with a like or comment. Your support means so much to me. Thank you very much for watching until the end, and I'll see you in the next video, I hope. Have a great drawing day. Bye-bye.